Hey, Thaisa here from Elite Med Staffing Group. I wanted to talk to you for a moment about commentary that I made last week, and it went viral, and for a good reason because it needs to be spoken about. And this is about this guy right here, Ron DeSantis. He is a lightning rod when his name is brought up, but it is about the budget that he proposed for the 2022-2023 um, session, his legislation for the budgetary for the year. And it was something that I thought, it's not that I think, but I know that's right, that needed to be done. Because this is not political. This is not a political situation. This is not a Democratic or Republican situation. This is about doing what's right for people. And it's about doing what's right for an industry. And so what he did was basically put $300 million in his yearly budgetary. He allocated those funds for Medicaid, and that's a good thing. That's not bad. Um, Whether you like him or not, because it's not about what we as people like politically. This is a apolitical situation. This is about doing what's right for people, and it would behoove him to do such a thing, being that he's in the state of Florida, which is home to the largest population of retirees in America. That's just the smart thing to do. So if you want to say it's politically driven on his behalf, that's a possibility. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a politician, right? So everything has a level of political expediency, but in this case, this was actually the right thing to do, and it's the right thing to do for the residents of facilities inside of for the state of Florida. What I'm waiting to see is which states begin to step up, because if you're waiting on the federal government to do it, I think that's a bad situation. I think that's just the wrong take. It's the wrong take on it. Every state has its own ability to govern itself, and it's just the right thing to do. So I'm waiting for the larger states such as New York and California to go ahead and start to piggyback off of what Ron DeSantis did, right? Because it's just the right thing to do. What he did was basically cover inflation at a 7.8 increase, which is about 300 million, which is, as you can see here, about 420 million dollars per facility. That's the right thing to do. In his $112 billion state budget, he allocated around 300 million to for Medicaid funding for nursing homes, and it's the right thing to do. And what they can do is allocate a specific amount of that 420 $1,000 to salaries and salaries alone, because we have a problem in the industry on from the foundational level of those who really are in charge of making these facilities go. And what I'm talking about is your CNAs, your LPNs, and all the other strong support staff that need to be compensated fairly, because what they're going to do and what they are doing is leaving the industry. They can go ahead and go work for Amazon for higher pay, but their hearts are in taking care of people. So let's compensate them in a manner which they should be compensated. All right. So back to this bill. A week and a half ago, there was a committee that was at the White House, and they spoke about what needed to be done. And so what they did, I thought, was really a cowardice thing on the behalf of the administration, which is they wanted to put forth penalties and staffing minimums, like on facilities, and penalize them if they didn't meet these standards. If you are in the middle of a staffing crisis, why would you then put staffing minimums, raise that bar when you know in fact that you have a staffing issue? That's not going to the heart and getting to the source of the issue. That's exacerbating an already dire situation. That makes no sense. There was a lot of pushback. There was a lot of griping. It was the right thing to do. They kind of slowed up on those things, and chose to. They're going to go back and review that. And so again, they're putting together committees and everything as they should. But states are not at the behest of the federal government. States can go ahead and begin to do what's right for their own individual states. And so I want to see this be a model. Now, was it completely right? I mean, could the number have been higher? Absolutely, the number could be higher. Could that 400, that 300,000 be 600? I mean, it's not 300,000, but that 300 million be 600 million? Absolutely. Could that 420,000 then become 840,000 per facility? Absolutely. We're talking about now we're talking about making significant change, things that can really change the direction of a facility. But don't use private equity as a boogeyman because it looks good, because it has great aesthetics. We're not talking about aesthetics. We're talking about lives, human lives of residents that live in and go through these facilities. So to me, there's no right or left. What Ron DeSantis, what this gentleman did here was the right thing to do. Now, what other states should do is model it and make it better to fit their situation, because every state is different. That's the reason why we don't really like to have federal blanket policies, because every state is different. Is different due by population. Is different due by the cost of living. Is different to do for all different reasons why states have their own level of autonomy to do what they need to do for them, for their constituents. And this is the right thing to do. You cannot be mad at this. This is where you have to put your ego aside and just understand that this is a situation that can be built upon, right? Because is it completely perfect? No, everything can be done better. To me, this is just level one. Now you go back and then you can look at things from now, from a better view, and say, okay, what do we need to do here? How do we fix this staffing situation? Do we have to, of course, raise pay? Do we have to have better training? And then facilities can then take an internal audit about what they need. What do they then need to do to stop the situations of people, staff leaving and things of that nature. But to sum it all up, at the end of the day, what this guy did, Ron DeSantis did, is a good thing, and it's a step in the right direction. Leave the political stuff at the door when it comes to human lives. Leave the political stuff at the door when it comes to human lives. Do what's right for the people and do what's right for the industry. And with that, I'm signing out until we speak again. All right? Thaisa from Elite Man Staffing Group, signing out.